Hey, Beth.
Hi, Welby. How are you?
Good. It's autumn here. It's beautiful.
Oh, it is nice. I don't have windows in my office, but it's kind of springtime where I'm at.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, how lovely. How lovely.
Um,
Right.
so I watched Punch the other day and I thought it was an incredibly powerful story. And it's also your debut feature film, is that correct?
It is. It is.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
Um,
lovely.
so how did you get into filmmaking?
Ah! Oh, sorry. No, it's a good question. So I didn't go to film school. I didn't do any of that stuff. Um, I couldn't read or write until I was 15. So I was in the special classes at school. Um, and but I could draw from a very young age and draw very intricately. And so I used to, when we had this thing called sustained silent reading, which in New Zealand schools was 20 minutes each day when you just had to read in silence the whole class, I couldn't read. So I used to draw pictures. I'd get a encyclopedia because they had more pictures on a page. And I would look at the objects and make up a story that linked avocado, armadillo, and something. And I would draw it. And I used to think I'd like to be a cartoonist. But, the general idea was a kid who can't read or write's going to end up, digging the roads. And but fuck it, I'm driven by I think storytelling, and I love beautifully told stories. It doesn't matter whether it's in theater or dance or a novel or a narrative poem or whatever. And but I actually I became a designer, and but I still was really, especially with music videos that told stories, I was fascinated with them, because it was treated as such a crap media form, but actually there were incredible things happening in some music videos. So my PhD was in the narrative structure of music videos when I finally did it, and that's why you see the film has got a slight music video feel every so often, because you feel Jim's aesthetic coming into sometimes how he tells stories. And so I made a short film, couldn't get funding for it, and it won CineQuest, so it went forward for consideration to the Oscars. And it was just like, and I remember when I took it to get funded, they went, "This is not a short film. This is so strange," because the typography talked in it. And and then the second short film I made, I couldn't get funding for too, and that won a whole lot of festivals. And then I made Sparrow, and that, I think it got about 20 international awards, but I still couldn't get Punch funded. and then Tim Roth saw the screenplay. His agent gave it to him, and that changed things here. And so I was able to make the film. So my journey was not the standard film school stuff, and I still don't actually believe in film school, even though I have this other job. I don't teach film. I just think it's in your heart. It's in your heart, and sometimes the most unusual people become beautiful storytellers in that medium. Yeah.
Well, this was definitely a beautiful story for sure. So in the journey to get it funding, how long did it actually take for you to make this film?
15 years. 15 wow. Years. Oh God, I believe in tenacity now. You have to be so fucking strong. You have to be really strong. And but I was driven. And I'm quite a driven man. Like, if I think something should be in the world, I try to do the best I can with things. I try to honor an idea with the best craft I can bring to it. And then I kind of think, we can do things. We can do things. We don't have to follow someone's template to do it. And so I just relentlessly fought for 15 years, and it's there. It's how, you know, to sit in a theater quietly when no one knows who you are and feel an audience moving in waves of emotional response to something. And you look up and you go, well, it nearly killed me, but it was worth it. It was worth it, you know.
I love that. That must be an awesome feeling.
It's wonderful. Because I'm not a celebrity kind of guy. I'm quite shy by nature. And so I don't like all the flashy stuff that goes with films and film festivals. So I don't normally go to my screenings, but if there's a Q&A, I will always go, because I think that's a way of giving back to the audience, to thanking the audience for coming to see your film. But anything like you know, telling those big festivals when they have these gala events, oh God, I'm in the corner eating the finger food and going, how the fuck do I get out of here?
No, I am the same way, like just very uncomfortable in those situations. So ultimately, where did this story come from? Is this something personal to you?
Yeah. This house here, I built for my partner, Kevin, and he died. He died of AIDS. And when I met him, I just fell head over heels in love. You know, like, I'm quite a soppy guy deep down. And that's why I can't help it coming out in the film, you know. And his dad was a boxing coach, and he had had taught the sons to box, and Kevin was good. He had a younger brother who was also very good, and his younger brother actually was the trained Jordan, because Jordan had 2 years of boxing training before the film was done. And so he was coached by my brother-in-law, by Kevin's younger brother. And so all the boxing stuff is like super authentic in it. There's no double, there's no stand-in, there's no nothing. Everything, that's Jordan. Every detail of boxing is absolutely there. In fact, we just got back from, it was in World Pride in Sydney, and the World Boxing Association, or a gay boxing association, showed up to it. You know, so there's the test of your credibility. And that's what I love about the American release. They're releasing it as a boxing movie, as a sports movie. And I'm really pleased, because I didn't want to create work that was just had its vision on an idea of a gay ghetto. I'm immensely proud of being a gay man, but I'm so proud that I refuse to go that we belong in a ghetto. We don't. Our stories belong in the world, as part of the world. And that's what I love about the American release of this. And they, you know, when they cut the trailer for it, boxing is right out there at the front, and also the love between a dad and son. But to pull that all back, when Kevin was dying, he didn't want his dad to know, and his dad found him, and it was quite close to when he died, and he came into the hospice, and Kevin didn't want to see him. And in hospices here, I don't know if it's the same there. In hospices here, you have to what the person who's dying wants, that's what happens. And in the end, Kevin said, well, he can come in if I was in the room. And his dad and I didn't get on very well, you know. And his dad just sat there by his bed, and remember, he reached out across the sheet to try and touch Kevin and couldn't. And he was this hard man, tears rolling down the street, and he couldn't make the bridge, and Kevin wouldn't move. And then he left. And I said to Kevin a little while after, I'd love to make the story of you and your dad, but where we actually love both of these people, because it doesn't have, our stories with our dads don't have to end like this. And he said, you won't, because you're going to have to start being nice to the Film Commission, and you won't. And we'll go, all right, so it's 15 years, but fuck it, we did.
That was a roller coaster of a story.
Just like sorry, you wanted something much shorter. All right.
No, it was fine. It was fine. I just wasn't expecting the ending.
All right. All right.
When people watch this, what do you hope that they take away?
I think that some stories are transferable, that the human condition is so strong in them. You don't have to be a rural gay man or an alcoholic father to feel, if a story is well told, the human condition transfers. And so what I hope is that people's hearts are moved, that this isn't, you know, I tried to make a very beautiful film, not to make it pretty, but to increase this level of sensitivity so you felt everything in it. So everything is very fine-tuned so that you're quite vulnerable through the film. It's seductively beautiful, but it will mix tough things with beauty. And so I wanted people to go away. The greatest honor I always think can be paid to a film is the moment of silence at the end before people start clapping. You know, and the duration of that is the shape of a laurel. And that's what I hope, that there would be stillness. People would walk away and it would haunt them, that they would think 2 or 3 days later, little bits would be coming back. And even though, yeah, it would haunt them, because I love things that haunt you. I love literature, the arts that haunt.
I love it. Awesome. All right. We are at time, but thank you so much for chatting. Again, I love the movie and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
See you.